left, the mainstream media is up in arms over something we talked about right here in the cloakroom last week, the cancellation of student loan debt. So I think we should start the show just by welcoming the Washington Post and Business Insider, who wrote an article about your comments, your legal analysis of whether what Biden did with his executive order, canceling student loan debt, whether it's legal. They joined the ranks of CNN and MSNBC, who came to Verdict Plus last month when we were talking about Obergefell, because of what Clarence Thomas wrote in his Dobbs concurrence. So before we get started on the rank choice voting, which is a fascinating topic that Verdict Plus fans have been asking about, I want to ask you, why do you think that the mainstream media is so up in arms about the legal analysis? Because that's what we were talking about, right? Not even the politics, the legality of the thing. Do they know that it's illegal?
Well, they seem to. You look at the Washington Post story, they wrote about Cloakroom, and they basically acknowledge that it's contrary to the law. But we had an honest and candid discussion about the legal impediments there would be to getting a court to reach the merits of the dispute, and in particular, the problem of establishing standing. And look, the press likes it when any Republican discusses any impediment to principled arguments prevailing. They like that, gosh, wait, this illegal student loan giveaway, maybe it survives. I will say, since we did the last cloakroom, we talked about different scenarios of who might have standing, and I actually reached out to one of the top Supreme Court litigators in the country, who's a dear friend of mine, and he and I were brainstorming a little bit more on standing after we did the cloakroom last week. And he came up with one more scenario, one other group of people that would have standing, and I think it's probably the strongest case for standing. And that is a student loan processor. So a company that is processing student loans. And the reason they would have standing is the consequence of forgiving these loans, and particularly the loans that are forgiven down to zero, is that those companies would face, as I understand it, a very significant drop in revenue, that it is real money out of their pocket because of the illegal forgiveness of the debts. That would almost surely clear the hurdle for standing. The downside is if you have someone that is processing student loans and administering student loans, they're doing business with the federal government, so they may not be willing to sue because they don't want to piss off the feds. But legally, they would have quite a strong argument for standing to be able to make the legal argument. And if it gets to the merits, I think the executive order gets struck down. I think it goes to the Supreme Court and is probably struck down 6-3, the same margins we saw on other lawless assertions of power by the Biden White House. So there is one group of plaintiffs that likely has standing, but time will tell whether they will have the courage to be willing to bring lawsuit to press the claim.